My name is Keiko Wada from an Institute of Lake Biwa-Yodo River Water Environmental Research in Japan. And I will talking about this title. So, Lake Biwa-Yodo River Basin, Lake Biwa-Yodo River Basin covering 8,240 square kilometers is a representative basin of Japan. And its water from Lake Biwa serves as a source of drinking water for 14.5 million people, and including Kyoto, Osaka, and Kobe. Its water of Yodo River Basin is reused from upstream and downstream. So Lake Biwa and Fuji River and Tatsuro River and Kizu River are meeting. So one river, the Yodo River, flow out from the Osaka Bay. And it's important to see the entire basin and understand changes in factors related to water quality in order to properly manage water. Lake Yodo River Basin and red line and dot point shows that Lake Biwa-Yodo River water supply and boundary very big. So, the water issue by rapid changes in society and the spread of urbanization, water quality has deteriorated. And for them, an increase in the sewage plants and effluent and regulations has contributed to reduce the causes of water pollution and improve the water quality of the rivers. This figure shows the trend of BOD concentration of midstream of Yodo River. And very BOD concentration is decreased. But despite decrease in organic matter loading from industrial and domestic sites to Lake Biwa, and its chemical oxygen demand has been increased for the few decades. So, this shows the trend of organic matter and concentration in Lake Biwa. So, in 1984, increased the COD and decreased the BOD. So, the service and N is the similar phenomenon. The similar phenomenon is also observed in other lakes in Japan and makes it difficult to reach environmental standards regarding water quality. And that cause might be organic matters which are not biodegradable. So, biodegradable is what you can see here, the trend of the ratio of COD plus BOD. So, warm color shows the high ratio, and cool color shows the low ratio. And this around 1919 and so around 2000 and around 2009, so warm color is so increasing. So changes over the past 20 years, and for a few decades, COD has been increasing in the Lake Biwa-Yodo River basin. So the organic matter are not biodegradable, meaning refractory organic matter, ROM. ROM affects the ecosystem by accumulating in closed water bodies such as lakes and reservoirs and waves, because it cannot decompose easily. So that must formulate response to these water environment problems by surveying the concentration and pollutant load and distribution for the target water area, and solve the ROM issues with effective measures and policies. So this study's aim is to discuss accumulation, analysis, and comparison of monitoring data is water management, and review the data about ROM in the Lake Biwa-Yodo River Basin and Osaka Bay, and propose a biodegradability test method for ROM systematically. So, ROM, how the method? What the issues of the ROM? Issues and types of the effort vary depending on prefecture, and how much of the understanding and what remains unsolved. The researchers required information also varies. So therefore, we conducted the workshop to solve the ROM issues. Many others, 8 researchers on relating the 4 prefectures. So these are the main topics, and first defines the non-biodegradable and readily and biodegradable organic matter. And second, different methods for ROM measurement. Unified method is necessary because each method has each different aim. To gain the effective ROM data, have to define various conditions clearly and reduce test conditions, various natural and wastewater and fresh water or seawater and road route and so on. What you can see our results. First, define of the non-biodegradable and readily biodegradable organic matter. Total organic carbon shows the total amount of carbon in the organic compound. So, however, for the ROM, we could not have a direct index or use various quantitative and quantitative methods that have been used in the past studies. What you can see here is the TOC and non-biodegradable organic matter and readily biodegradable organic matter. BOD is here and COD is here. So. And for example, by various analysis used to ROM index in previous studies. The ratio of COD for BOD, you can see the difference. UV 260 nanometers. And the gain permeation and chromatography and analysis the total carbon. And 3D and EENN. But a very important step is the biodegradability test. ROM remain long time in nature. Many data in Japan is compared result from their first day with after 1,000 days. So before the organic matter and biodegradability test after an organic matter. So TOC analysis and TOC analysis. If conditions of biodegradability test are not the same, those data cannot be compared. So, main results and second topic, and standard biodegradability test method. and we are sample type and volume and pre-treatment and material and content of incubation, buffer, and cleaning. Preparation and incubation equipment and incubation conditions. It's very important. Incubation period is, we decided 100 days and water temperature and 20 degrees and right condition is that, not growth the algae. And aeration and absence prevent the addition to item. And sea and bacteria and additional reagents and bacteria to decompose. And seawater is 10%, and actual seawater is sampling water. So many methods is we decided. So let's show me a detail and example. This is a schematic diagram of biodegradable test. So preparation of incubation and equipment. Okay. And incubation and absence of aeration and the ROM low concentration and distance. And so this is aeration and is presence of aeration is ROM and higher concentration. So, and various water pollution and mountain and stream water, road runoff and public waste and sewage treatment and so this portrait is the biodiversity test. So, and ROM particulate and dissolved portion and mountain stream water was contained low and long and dissolved portion later the ROM and road runoff and 80% and public field down 3%, and in public field runoff the 9% of the DOC was refractory, and road runoff and 93% of the COC was refractory. So now let me conclude my talk. We conducted the workshop intent to solve refractory organic macro issues like Biwa-Yodo river the Basin, Osaka Bay. It was able to correct the thought and analysis method measure. So, and particularly we advanced science test and method biology. It is clearly essential to establish a unified method to protect our Bison's environment. This approach has a big role of monitoring water environment. As a result, an enhancement in the data quality, and those findings will be neutralized by studying appropriate measures and action concerned reflecting organic matter in the future. Thank you for the attention.
Now, it's open for the participation.
So in Scotland we see that organic carbon is rising, and we believe it's also because of temperature increase. Do you see something similar in Japan?
Thank you for the question. Yes, so many in the world CO2 increase. And so Lake Biwa and start a researcher and dissolved organic matter and sugar and protein and substance studying. But not unclear in the organic matter. But by bacteria are not used in many maybe microplastic and PPCP, personal care is not decomposed. I think so. Thank you very much.
Do you have one more question? anybody would like to ask your questions?
Thank you very much for a nice presentation. I have because the BOD and by COD ratio is very interesting that you are. What is the effect of the seasonal variation have you seen? I might have, and in a country where there is a high monsoon, so what do you think is going to change? Because of course I know that you are a very active member in Nonpoint pollution source, so that's why I wanted your opinion on that.
I think so, and many Nonpoint source and my major is the urban road. Urban road runoff is very differently organic matters and very high. And because the fuel and the additives and reagents, I think so many causes non-biological organic matter. Thank you very much.
Please give a big hand to Professor Keiko.